Oh, hey guys, 1 second. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to another Media Raptor Reviews. Now tonight, I'm going to take us back in time, actually. We're going to go back in time to 1984. Look, I'm reviewing a movie from 1984 so I can review a movie from 2015, so I can at least say I reviewed one of these before I talk about the newest one, and that movie is The Terminator. Yeah. A lot of you might be surprised that I haven't reviewed this thing yet, because a lot of you might think, dude, it's The Terminator. It's a hilariously bad movie. And you know what? This movie is pretty bad, but it also is really good. Now, I'm just going to talk about the movie for a minute, and I literally mean a minute, because I'm trying to make shorter reviews here, guys. I don't want to waste your time. So, back in 1984, there was a little director who wasn't really well known, named James Cameron. He would later go on to direct such things as Aliens, and Avatar, and Titanic. Out of that, I liked Aliens. Avatar I thought was okay, and Titanic I thought kind of sucked, aside from the part when everyone drowned. Yeah. And needless to say, it was a huge success. So, 7 years later, we were given Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I don't care what people say, this to me is probably one of the greatest sequels ever made. This thing, guys, is right up there with stuff like Sharknado 2, the second one, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek Into Darkness. Don't ask me about the Star Wars movies, I really didn't like those. I would say Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, but saying it's better than the first one is not really saying a whole lot, because A New Hope kind of sucked. I don't care what you guys say. And it was a fantastic movie, and James Cameron, he struck home again. 12 years later, we were given Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. A lot of people hate this movie. I didn't, actually. I thought it was actually halfway decent. I thought it was a serviceable movie, and it was a good way to end what I consider one of the greatest sci-fi trilogies of all time. And with that, we were thankfully allowed, the Terminator was thankfully allowed to be given the gentle release from the film world that he needed, only becoming, and he would be remembered forever, for his first two amazing films and an actually pretty good third film. I'm just kidding. 5 years later, we were given Terminator Salvation, and this movie sucked. Yeah, 6 years after this, which a lot of people say was really bad, we were given this, which sucked even worse. I don't care what you guys say. This movie was horrible. Why? I'm not going to go into details, but let me put it this way. R-rated. 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 PG-13. What?! You guys, The Terminator is about a movie about a killer robot who comes back in time to kill people. This one is set in the future where they won. How can you go from having one robot and still getting an R rating to having thousands of robots and getting a PG-13 rating? McG, I don't know who the heck that guy is. He directed this thing and he ruined the Terminator franchise. But let's go back in time, actually, to The Terminator. And I'm going to start out by talking about the story. The story, well, a lot of people actually will say nowadays it's a cliched and overdone story. The story for its time of 1984 was quite original. It's it's the classic story about in the future of 2029, pretty much robots have taken over the world, and one man. What the heck was that guy's name again? Oh yeah, Kyle Reese, I think. He's sent back in time to try and protect Sarah Connor, who would later give birth to John Connor, who would be the one who would lead the machines to the, who would lead the rebellion against the machines. This is gonna have a long jump cuts, I'm sorry. Who would lead a rebellion against the machines and ultimately save the Earth. Why they didn't just go back in time to when she was a child and kill them then is beyond me. That would be a heck of a lot easier. Oh, the timeline's kind of messed up in these movies. I don't care. Anyhow. So for what it is, it's just an 80s action movie. Their characters don't have that much depth, but you guys, it was the 80s, it was an action movie. It says here on the back from the Los Angeles Times, A fast, clever, suspenseful, and shocking piece of work. I'll give it clever, I'll give it fast, I'll give it suspenseful. It does have some pretty suspenseful scenes. Shocking? For its time, yeah, and today, if it's the first time you've seen it, I will say it is kind of shocking at times. However, I will say this thing was more shocking, but I'm not here to talk about those. I'm just going to put those aside, because I'll be here talking about those all day. So the writing is pretty good. You know, if you think about it too much, then there's a lot of plot holes. That if you think too hard about it, it'll ruin the movie. But if you just watch it as an awesome 80s action movie, you're going to love it. Acting. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is the role he was meant to play, and I'm sure everyone said that. And Linda Hamilton, I know she's been in other movies, I don't really remember from what. And I would look it up right now, but I'm too lazy and I don't want to make this review go really long. Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn, that dude, he was pretty good. And, well, those are like the main actors in this movie. You know, we got her friend, and we got Sarah Connor's friend, she did a pretty good job. We got all the other actors, they do pretty good jobs. You know, nobody was really bad. Special effects. This is where a lot of people are going to split on this movie. Either you're going to love the effects because they look amazing for 80s movie effects and they look cheesy and fun now, or you're going to hate them because they looked great in the 80s but they look horrible now. Me? You guys, I'm the guy who loves Sharknado. I'm the one who watches the old Scooby-Doo Where Are You cartoons. I love stuff that is just cheesy, that looked good. I love stuff that was cheesy back when it was made and is still cheesy today. So to me, this is the perfect movie. Because you know what? For its day, it looked amazing, but now it looks terrible. But it's still enjoyable. The stop motion is pretty bad, and you can tell it's stop motion. Who did the music here? Other than that, it's got your great 80s action movie soundtrack. And there's not a lot to say about that. There's a lot more beyond that. Camera work's good, lighting's good, all that kind of stuff. So when it all comes down to it, guys, can I recommend The Terminator? Oh, definitely. I give this movie a very solid 3.5 raptor claws out of 4. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie the first time I saw it, and I've seen it many times since. Heck, I'm probably going to pop it in once I'm done and watch it again, because I'm going to see Terminator Genysis in a few days, and I can guarantee a review on that. And to be honest, it's still a good movie, even by today's standards. So guys, if you can find it in like a $5 DVD bin, don't hesitate to buy it. Gotta buy it immediately. Buy the Blu-ray. I'm probably going to have to upgrade these to Blu-ray at some point. Even Salvation, but that's because I don't like having part of a film series and not another one. And I can find Salvation pretty cheap on eBay or Amazon. So guys, if you like 80s movies, if you like action movies, if you like sci-fi movies, if you like so bad they're good movies, The Terminator is the movie for you. And that's all the time I have for this review, folks. Until next time, this is the Media Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see you dino dudes around. And